Hello, I am Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan. Welcome back, guys. I want to talk about The Mandalorian because it's returning on March 1st. This is the way. If you guys didn't know, I'm Captain Foley, and yeah, I just rewatched The Mandalorian. Seasons 1 and 2, and season 2.5. So, stare into your souls. This is the way. All right, let's see who we got here. I need to take the helmet off. I hope that's okay. By the way, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. If you're watching this after the fact, hit that like button. Don't forget to super thanks and super chat if you're here now live. This is the way. I have spoken. Yeah. Now that I've watched it again, I'm going to be saying that a lot, so I apologize in advance. Anyhow, let's see. We have 8 people here and 5 likes. That's not too bad, but I think everybody needs to hit that like button. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I need to take this off now because, well, I can't wear my glasses, so I can't read any of the chat. Well, I can, just not very well. And yeah, wearing glasses is a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. Yeah, Fleet Paw. Anyway. I should have left that on, I guess, eh? Don't want to scare anybody. Plus, it's really echoey in that helmet when you talk. I'm just saying, it's a thing. So, we have baby Grogu with us, of course, as well, back behind the camera right now. So, anyway, let's get into it. I'm not sure how long this one's going to be. I did start early, so maybe we can go a little bit longer. We'll have to see. But all right, let's open up the chat and see what you guys are talking about or not talking about, as the case may be. Yeah. I think that looks good. Your hair looks fine. Thank you, Fleet Paw. Oh. All right. Tim Rose, Donnie Pearson. Here goes nothing, says Donnie. Well, thank you. That sounds like an insult, but thank you. As the video says, we're talking Mandalorian tonight. Hit that like, let Foley know we love him. Aw. Eric Martin says, gorgeous helmet. Thank you so much. Yes, it is. Anyway, yeah, as I said, I just finished watching seasons 1. Actually, I just want to make sure this is on the correct resolution. Yes. Good. This is the old After Dark Star Wars screensaver, which I absolutely adored when I was younger. So we're having that behind us tonight. I could have had Coruscant. I could have had anything. And Sebastian says, what about The Mandalorian are we talking about? Anything and everything. I've rewatched it, and I kind of just want to discuss anything you guys are looking forward to in season 3 coming up, or anything you liked about seasons 1 and 2. It's a fantastic series. I forgot how good it was. And then I immediately, after watching season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, went and watched Book of Boba Fett, and it's like, I like the Book of Boba Fett. It's not great, but I enjoyed it. But quality-wise, there's just no comparing the two. That being said, episode 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, which is Mandalorian season 2.5, was fantastic. and yeah, they need more of that. So, uh, and no Boba Fett in those episodes, which was an interesting choice for a Boba Fett series. However, it is what it is. Um, yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about specifically. I don't have anything planned. I just want to kind of talk about Mandalorian and what you guys maybe want to see in season three, what you're expecting to see, and yeah, just your favorite moments, worst moments of seasons one and two. If the train goes off the track, will you want your money back? Because this episode is going to go off the track. This live will definitely go off the rails at some point, so just be prepared for that. We don't have to talk about The Mandalorian. I just wanted to have kind of a topic to get people interested and get them in here. And yeah, we're going to try to talk about The Mandalorian specifically, but if we need to go off and do something else, that's perfectly fine as well. This is the way. So, but yeah, these late night lives always kind of go sideways at some point. So usually at the hour mark, but who knows with this one? I don't know specifically if you guys are interested in talking about The Mandalorian. I mean, you must be if you could click the video. But and thanks to Matt Boardman, by the way, for doing that awesome thumbnail up for me. Very cool. And might as well promote some of the other stuff. I have a few things on the go. I've got my Wrath of Khan series Playmates figures review coming out next week sometime on the Captain Foley personal channel, as well as I got the HasLab G.I. Joe Sky Striker today that I ordered like 2 years ago as part of their camp, like their fundraiser, not fundraiser, but the project, whatever, to make a new Sky Striker. Got that today, did a review of it. It'll also be available next week on the Captain Foley personal channel. So if you're not subscribed to the Captain Foley personal channel, I highly suggest going to do so because there's some cool stuff on the go and coming up soon. So there you go. You've been told. You've been schooled. But anyway, yes. So Fleetpad said I need to polish the top of my head. You can't see my reflection in it anymore. Are you wearing Beskar? Got to polish your Beskar armor, or just your bald head? Eric Martin, the show reminds me a lot of old Western shows. Well, that was the point. That's what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau wanted for the feel of the show, and it absolutely does have those gunslinger type vibes to it. There's one episode in season 2 which kind of breaks that mold. I think it's episode 5 in season 2 called The Jedi, where he goes to the planet and finds Ahsoka Tana. I don't know. What's her name? Rosario Dawson. That one feels very medieval. Just the way the forest is presented, his armor looks very knight-like. He looks like one of the Crusaders. And it has a very medieval vibe to it. The whole episode does. Even the feudal, like Japanese type town still has like a medieval feel to it, in my opinion. But mostly it does feel very Western. Like, yes, they did get a lot of their inspiration from Clint Eastwood movies, The Man with No Name, those kind of things. And it definitely shows. I really like that a lot about the show. I grew up watching Westerns kind of because I had to, because my dad was big into Westerns when he was a kid, and he always liked watching Westerns. So it's just something that I grew up with, and you know, so I can relate to it. I can see the different tropes in it. The music definitely speaks to that as well. The soundtrack is phenomenally done, and everything about the show is just so great. Even the Mandalorian's like progression. Like he starts out with the older suit of armor, then gets the upgrade to the new PAL, whatever it's called, arm piece, and then to the full set of Beskar armor, and then in season 2 gets his actual like Mudhorn on this arm, Mudhorn clan thing put on. So, and he goes through weapons. He runs out of weapons. He has to restock his weapons. He goes from the long gun to the spear, the Beskar spear, which I absolutely love. Then the spear gets melted down turned into Grogu armor, and or Grogu chainmail, and so it's a progressing character, and I love that. Even the Razor Crest goes through some rough times, and then gets absolutely friggin' annihilated. I love the Razor Crest. When I first started watching the show, I did not like the Razor Crest design. I thought it was a little bit ugly, but it definitely grew on me very quickly, and it's actually a fantastic ship, especially for the Mandalorian, just because of the carbonite freezing chamber on board and the armory. Plus, he has a place to sleep. It's not a very big ship, but it's big enough. It's got a washroom facility, a little bit of a place to lay down, the armory, stuff like that. So it was actually a perfect ship for him. The new one, the new Naboo Starfighter deal, I love that it's a hot rod. I love that it's fast and a classic, but it doesn't quite suit Mandalorian for me. Like on long space flights where you go to the washroom, uh, things like that. Plus, capturing bounties in that would be very difficult, considering that there's really no room in it. So, just the progression of the character, the fact that he is actually losing a very important aspect, a lot of important aspects of his persona, I guess, in the form of weapons and vehicles and stuff. It's it kind of steps outside the realm of the typical hero, because you basically have like a figure that in a lot of shows that never changes, always has the same uniform, the same outfit, same weapons. Mandalorian, you can definitely tell from season to season, or even actually on a binge watch, it's fantastic. Watching it the first time around, it felt very kind of jilted a little bit because you had to wait. Watching it as a binge watch is fantastic because things move along so fast, and it's hard to kind of realize how fast things move. But it's definitely a good binge watchy show. Do we need more of it? Yes, we absolutely do. Even some of the side characters like Grieve Karga, played by Apollo Creed guy. Why can't I think of his name now? Shit. Carl Weathers, that's it. And even Cara Dune. I think Cara Dune's a fantastic character. I absolutely need her character to come back. Disney, get your shit together. I know she said some pretty controversial shit on Twitter. I don't give a flying fuck. I can separate the art from the artist. Whatever. We need the character back. I'm sure Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni had lots of plans for her. She's now a Republic Marshal. So, yeah, so characters like her, Bill Burr as Mayfeld, fantastic as well. I never really watched Bill Burr comedy before I saw him on The Mandalorian. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? He's important, obviously. Looked him up, Bill Burr, then watched a lot of podcasts with him and watched a lot of his comedy specials. I love Bill Burr. He's fantastic. He doesn't even give that too much of a shit about Star Wars. He's like, yeah, I went on set and there's all these weird, creatures and things. And it kind of shows in his performance. He's a fantastic performer in the role, don't get me wrong. But he's kind of got that I don't care attitude, which is perfect for the character. And so, yeah, he's fantastic. Ahsoka's great as well. Rosario Dawson did a fantastic job with that. The armor, the lady that makes the armor for the Mandalorian. There's such good stuff about this show. And it's from beat one of the show where you see him walking on an ice flat towards a bar. The show knew what it wanted to be from the beginning. There was no progressing through and fumbling and finding its way. It had a coherent, planned out story and idea from the get-go. And I, as a viewer and as a fan, really appreciate that. That's how most media should be. Nothing needed to be changed. Nothing needed to be tweaked. Even in Star Trek Next Generation, things got tweaked over the course of seasons 1 and 2. Sometimes you don't have the bigger picture in mind when you start something like this. I love that these guys do. Book of Boba Fett wasn't a cohesive story, but I love the way it tied in with The Mandalorian, with him getting his armor back and all that, and then the flashbacks and stuff in the Book of Boba Fett. And if you don't like the Book of Boba Fett, I understand that 100%. 100% I understand that. But you need to watch it, and at least, like I said, episode 5 and 6, because those are the Mandalorian season 2.5 essentially. So yeah, there's so much great about the Mandalorian. And such a great character as well. His sense of, you know, he's a kind of a religious zealot. Honestly, he's very cult like with this is the way, and not all Mandalorians are like that as well. He was one member of the Night Guard or the Night Watch or something, and so not all Mandalorians will keep their helmet on all the time and all this. So, and I love he gets called an apostate as well when he says that he admits that he took his helmet off before in front of people, and he did that 3 times in the course of those 2 seasons. Took it off once for IG-11, for IG-11 to heal him, and he said, "No living thing has ever seen my face," and IG-11 says, "I am not a living thing," and so that worked out well. That was fine. The second time was when he had to show his face to the Imperial computer system to get the information on where Grogu was being held by Moff Gideon. And then the third time, of course, was at the end when he said goodbye to Grogu, which, again, fantastically well done. The way they integrated these characters together. And that reveal of Luke Skywalker was, mwah. I remember having goosebumps when I first saw that. And then the best part for me was, oh, okay, there's Luke. That's awesome. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing Luke again. Young Luke, who's actually being Luke, not like in the movie, where Rian Johnson totally ruined his character. But, that hit me really good in the feels. But then the thing that really did it for me was R2-D2 coming up behind him. And seeing R2, I literally was like excited and jumping in my chair. I got that kid-like vibe from that one scene. And it's embarrassing to say that, but it's absolutely true. Yeah, because I was a huge R2-D2 fan. I still am. He's my favorite character in all of Star Wars. So to see him back, that was something. That was something really special. So I don't know. There's just so much to talk about with this series, and hopefully you guys have some interesting things you'd like me to discuss, points you want to bring up. Feel free to super chat, as I said. Please hit that like button as well. But yeah, contribute to the conversation. Let me know what you're looking forward to in season 3, what you enjoyed about the first 2 seasons. I've covered a lot of what I like here, but I really want to hear your thoughts on it. Everything from new droids as well. There's IG-11 was fantastic, and that astromech droid that had arms and legs, that was for the barge in the lava river. Again, absolutely fantastic droid design. Oh my God, there's so much. The Darksaber showing up. I didn't know much about the Darksaber because I didn't watch Clone Wars. I had to look up a lot of the history and stuff after the fact that I'd seen on the show, but I did know what it was. Cad Bane showing up. Actually, he shows up in the Mandalorian season 2.5 or Book of Boba Fett. So I'm going to keep thinking of really great things to talk about and discuss, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look at the comments now, see what you guys are saying. Kind of went off in a bit of a tangent there, but I wanted to get my points out. So even if people are watching this after the fact, they know I did talk about the Mandalorian, even though I know we're going to go off the rails at some point. So I've got most of what I wanted to say out there. If I think of anything else based on what you guys say, I will definitely let you guys know and talk about that. But yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting right now with that. So was it as good on rewatch? Sounds like it was. It was better on rewatch. It was absolutely better. As I said, binge watching it makes it feel a lot better. It feels like a really engrossing movie. Book of Boba Fett, not so much. But still, the binge watch benefits that as well. So you have that. Eric says, it's nice to see creators who really love and understand the material, and the fans are rare these days. Yes, 100%. So much so to the point that nothing has changed. The X-Wings look exactly like they should. They're not changed, not modified. They're not updated for today's audiences, any of that bullshit. The computer displays are black and white. The ones in the X-wings are exactly the same with that orange and red kind of look. The security cameras on Moff Gideon's ship at the end of season 2 are black and white security monitors, because that's what they used originally. You don't need to update them to color and make them the most modern, up to date security systems like based on today's technology. No, no, no. That's not how that works. Just show the era as it's meant to be. That was also a fantastic thing as well, to have those black and white monitors there, because you didn't know it was Luke Skywalker right away unless you're an idiot. A lot of people, they released a few rumors that it was like Poe Kloon or whatever. There was some other Jedi. Um, so, to see the green lightsaber and the gloved hand, you don't see that right away. You see a lightsaber, but you're not sure. So I kind of love that as well. And it ties in with keeping the aesthetic exactly like it should be. Black and white monitors. Perfect. Good job. Fleet Paw throws in $2. Ahsoka Tano is always a good thing. Yes. Fleet Paw shared the link to my personal channel, so please check that out. Subscribe to it. Like I said, there's a lot of cool content coming there over the next little while. Sebastian, the Ahsoka episode had Kurosa Samurai film vibes. It did. Yes, it did. But I also got very heavy medieval vibes from the same episode, especially with the way the Mandalorian looked in that lighting and in that forest that had no leaves, just like dead trees. It felt very much like a scene that I've seen 100 times in different forms of medieval knight stories, including movies like Excalibur and things like that. It definitely had both the samurai vibe to it, especially in the city. The city and the characters that inhabit the city, very much samurai vibes. Outside, though, outside of the town, it really felt medieval to me. It was just the lighting, the way, the mood that was set, everything about it. So, yeah, I get that it was samurai. I get that was the point. It was supposed to be like that. So, good on them. But anyway, Tim Adkins says, howdy. Hello, Tim. Eric Martin, I was surprised when Quill died. I hope I got the name right. You did. You did. Kind of. It's not Quill like that. It's like Quill. Quill. It's like I think there's a W in there. But yeah, Nick Nolte as the Ugnaught Quill. I have spoken. Loved that character. And then to have him be gunned down, spoilers, by these two idiotic, moronic biker scouts, who are hilarious, by the way. But yeah, that was just a real kick to the nuts for sure. I really wish he hadn't have died. I think Quill was a fantastic character. But yeah, those biker scouts, they're funny. Trying to hit the thing on the ground like from like 5 feet away, and they can't hit it, either one of them, with their blasters. But then again, they punched Grogu, so they got what they deserved when IG-11 showed up. He smashed them into their bikes. So let's see. Hezra is just coming by to say hi. I love the thumbnail pick. Mandalorian is awesome. Thank you, Hezra. Looking forward to this upcoming season. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tim Adkins. I was familiar with the Wolf and Cub movies and comic. I saw the similarities straight on, really. Oh, yeah. There's Star Wars, the original Star Wars did the same thing. Took movies like that and used the mythology to create something that was memorable. So I have no problem with them doing stuff like that. But yeah, basically the mentor and his student kind of thing, or the protector and the protectee, whatever. Definitely are stories that have gone, way back. They go way back, and that's what Star Wars does well, is retelling those ancient mythologies in a new way. So yeah, you can see a lot of similarities between Mandalorian and a lot of things. So anyhow, Um, Fleet Paw Swiftback. What ship do you think Mando will have now? Hopefully something better than a Naboo starfighter. No, he'll still have the Naboo starfighter. We've seen it in the trailers for season 3. I hope it gets destroyed. I really do. As much as it's cool that it's kind of got that unpainted look and kind of looks like the Beskar a little bit with the silver sheen to it. I don't think it really suits the character, especially considering his job. Like I said, the Razor Crest was much better suited to his position. I have a feeling by the end of this season 3 that that starfighter might go the way of the Razor Crest and actually get annihilated, and he'll get a different ship again. That's again not a Razor Crest, but who knows? Who knows? I hope people like Mayfeld and will return again. I'm glad that Mayfeld was in 2 episodes. He's the sharpshooter played by Bill Burr. But that first episode where he was introduced, where they had to rescue that crazy Twi'lek's brother off the Imperial ship, prisoner ship, was a really fun episode. That kind of old school, like Ocean's 11 type gang doing their thing. The robot in that, the droid that flew the Razor Crest, the Zero, fantastic character as well. Absolutely loved him. Loved him, loved Mayfeld. Didn't care for the Twi'lek bitch. Didn't like her at all, actually. I think that was the point. The devil guy, didn't like him either. Didn't really do anything for me. Her brother that they broke out of the prison, again, kind of blah. The main guy, the main leader of that ragtag group, looks very bikerish, and I believe he's in Sons of Anarchy. I don't know. I never watched that show, so but that was another great one. The whole showing up and basically being told that through his mask he can sweet talk anybody with those eyes or that smile or whatever. Really good stuff there. And yeah, Zero is the best part of that episode. Not just because I love droids, but Zero is a great character. Not a good character, not a good guy in any way, but a fantastic character in the fact that his design was awesome, his attitude was awesome, well voice acted, and again, his head was used again later in the episode The Passenger, where the frog creature lady, who couldn't communicate, tapped into his translation matrix, and you got the character's voice again. So yeah, I mean the way they use stuff in this show is so good. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau do such a fantastic job with this show. Oh, I just can't say enough good things. Hezraz, I love the gradual change of the Mandalorian too. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Yeah, it's absolutely great. Sean, I'm just glad how they are properly incorporating Clone Wars characters into live canon. Dave Filoni is as close to Lucas as we can get. Yeah, and I'd love to get George Lucas's opinions on this show. I've seen pictures of him on set and holding baby Grogu and stuff like that. So, but I'd love to hear his thoughts on it. I can't say as I have heard an interview where they talk about it. And the other thing that's interesting is when a show is good, nobody talks about it, and I don't understand that. As I was watching The Mandalorian, I was thinking back to all the shit that I had heard about Book of Boba Fett and the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and how people were bitch. This was wrong. This was wrong. They shouldn't have done this. Da, 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 da. Mandalorian, though, something that's fantastic and there's really no flaws with. Not a peep. Nothing on the radar. Nobody celebrates good stuff anymore. They only point out the bad shit. So you hear more about the bad or negative things than you do about the good stuff. And I don't know why that is, but we need to give our fucking heads a shake and smarten the fuck up as a society. If that's all we can do is bitch and amplify the negativity, and anything that's good, it's like, oh, it was good. Moving on. Nothing to say about it because it's good. Moving on. It's what the fuck is that? Yeah, it gets universal acclaim and all this praise, but does it? Because it doesn't. Just saying. This is a pretty boring screensaver. I should have picked a different one. Don't want you guys bored by the screensaver. It gives you something to look at besides my ugly mug while I'm yapping. So let's go to the next thing. Hold on. There's that guy, the spy. Yeah. And this is also my canon. This is my Star Wars canon before fucking new shit fucked it all up. Why do you say that? Because I used to read these screensavers all the time when I was a kid, because I had them on my computer all the time. Let's go to the next one. This next one's a prime example. It gives biographies for characters, right? So it's coming up to R2 and 3PO in a minute. And it states R2 and 3PO are about 200 years old each. R2 has never had a memory wipe. That's why R2 has such a personality. Sorry about the snoring. Hey, you're in a bad position there. There you go. So 200 years old, including C-3PO. They give a whole history for him. He's had his memory wiped a few times because he's worked for different senators and royal families. There's no way that fucking C-3PO was built by Anakin fucking Skywalker. That is the stupidest goddamn fucking shit retcon I've ever imagined, ever heard of. It's absolutely ridiculous. I love that the droids are like 200 years old. I think that's really cool. Star Wars timeline, like 1,000 years ago, the tech was pretty much the same. Nothing really advances. It all kind of stays the same in 1,000 years. So I have no problem with the droids being 200 years old. Like, come on. So, yeah, yeah. Like, while he was away, Kashyyyk was overtaken by the Empire, and the entire Wookiee race was declared fair slave trade. This meant that any Wookiees caught roaming free would be captured and sold. Chewbacca learned of this from within the belly of the slaver's tug, and he spent the next 30 years performing heavy labor. See, like, histories for the fucking characters. And then real canon comes along and fucks it up. That is the stupidest shit ever. This stuff came from Lucasfilm, LucasArts. It's just so much better. It's so much better. And I know I'm an old curmudgeon that's like out on the lawn yelling like, "This is my canon, my canon." Anyway, same thing with Star Trek, but we've talked that to death. The Star Trek headcanon that I grew up with, the Bibles, my Bibles, like the Franz Joseph Technical Manual and Starfleet Battles histories and stuff like that. Well thought out, well fucking presented, and beautifully done. No, fuck that shit. We're just going to get rid of all that great stuff that, meant everything to you as a kid, because there was no Star Wars or Star Trek filling the gap. Same with this shit. So, anyway, that's a bit of a rant. I apologize. Fleet Pause says, sound quite opposite of what happened with Discovery, but we won't talk about that. Yeah, that's respecting the canon. That's why I love Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Scotty Roberts is here. Captain Foley. Hello, Scotty. How's it going? Good to see you, sir. Eric Martin. I love how Mando loved the Razor Crest, just like Han loved the Falcon. Ships were characters. Absolutely. This ship right here, the TOS Enterprise, it is a character in Star Trek. It is my favorite Star Trek character. Absolutely, ships have personalities. My Camaro has a personality. Much like the Millennium Falcon, it's kind of like a fast hunk of junk sometimes, but, it is what it is. And yes, they do have personalities. So, yeah. Pumpkin Spice, disappointed that Grogu is back, was hoping they would move on to the next chapter of the Mandalorian's adventures. I see what you're saying, and I get you. I really do. Grogu seems to be something that would hold Mando back. Hopefully they move on from that and have Grogu actually be able to fucking do something. More than just a little slurry of little feet. Like if he could actually And they've established that in the Book of Boba Fett, where Luke was training him and he started like jumping from the remote that was shooting at him, and he was actually moving. If he does that in the next season and is actually helpful to the Mandalorian, I have no problem with that. I love the father-son bond that is going on with that. I think that's fantastic. I have no real problem with Grogu, but I see what you're saying and I understand, because when I was watching through seasons 1 and 2 the first time, I'm like, he's got to get rid of this fucking kid, because they can't do much with the kid or the puppet on screen, honestly. So just move on. Like, sorry, I need a drink. But no, I totally get what you're saying. I have no problem with Grogu being around, honestly. I just hope that he maybe learns a few words, learns to speak a little bit, you know, something, anything. Anyway, yeah. Fleetpaw shared this live in the Book of Faces and the tweets page. Oh, thank you, Fleetpaw. Eric Martin, I like how since he was shown compassion by a boy, as a boy, when his home was attacked, he decided to help Grogu. He wasn't shown compassion. He was taken in by this group of religious zealots and join our cult. You're a foundling. It's also why he hates droids, by the way. Mandalorian hates droids because his family was basically killed by the droid army. So that's a good thing as well, as far as character goes. So no, I hear what you're saying. Not that they were nice to him, it's that they did what their order dictated. You find somebody weak and helpless, and they're called a foundling, and you take them in, you train them in your ways, and you basically transform them into a religious zealot. They join your cult. So I don't know how I feel about the cult part of that, but it absolutely is a cult when you look at it. So, Pumpkin Spice, the Naboo Starfighter was the best part of episode 1. LOL. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. There's a lot about episode 1 that's good, especially in hindsight. But I never liked the Naboo Starfighter, honestly. Fleetpaw says, wonder if he'll steal Slave 1 from Boba. No, I can't see that happening. Pumpkin Spice, he will get the Corellian type of ship from the N64 game from the 90s, LOL. Oh, yes. Can't remember the character's name now. Or the ship's name. Yeah, he'll get something similar to that. I would be fine with that. He needs a bigger ship. He can't be in just a starfighter, honestly. David Thompson says, how's you doing, Captain? I'm doing well, David. How are you doing? Eric Martin, I love the line, I can bring you in warm or bring you in cold. Mando turns the tables and says, that's my line. Loved it. I can bring you in cold. I can bring, I don't know. Yeah, I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. Yeah. That is great. It's a bounty hunter thing. You wouldn't understand. Pumpkin Spice, Book of Boba Fett was not bad. I didn't think so either. I understand why people might think it's bad, but at the same time, I really enjoyed the Book of Boba Fett. Mostly. There's a few things about it that were a little, could have been done better, but... Donnie says, looking forward to season 3 of Mando. Despite the Bad Batch being my #1 favorite Star Wars show. Dave Thompson says, I agree, Captain. It's quite a while ago because I'm behind the chat, but thank you. Mike P, fascinating that I find myself in agreement with you 97.5% of the time. We should be friends and go for a drink. There's certain personality types that just, they think the same. So, thank you, Mike. Fleetpaw, here. We as a society definitely need to smarten the fuck up. Yes, this is true. This is the way. Dave Thompson, you have a better mug than I. Okay. Pumpkin Spice, R2-D2 also being the shop robot for Anakin Skywalker was unnecessary too. The shop robot for Anakin Skywalker. Well, R2 was one of the astromech droids on Princess what's her nuts' ship. Padme. I didn't mind that. I honestly didn't mind that. But, yeah. You're on point. Ship robot. Oh, you meant ship robot instead of... Well, still not Anakin Skywalker's ship. It was Princess Amidala's ship. Fleetpaw. In a galaxy where Wookiees can live to be 500 years old, I have no issue with droids being 200 to 300 years old. Exactly. That'll be coming up in a minute, actually. I'd love to read these to you because these are great. And if you didn't grow up with this screensaver, you might not know about these. But anyway. RR says, I don't know how I feel about Trekyards talking Star Wars. We do it all the time, man. We also have Fleet Yards. That's our spin-off show where we do a lot of Star Wars content. And trust me, we're well versed in Star Wars. Don't get your... It's always over here on this side, always. Star Wars and Star Trek, man. Star Trek is better. But Star Wars is still good. It's almost as good. It's only like a couple percent lower. But anyway. Long live the pugs. Dave Thompson, that's why I don't watch Trek anymore. That's a silly statement because some Trek is getting it right. You just have to know which ones to watch. Fleetpaw. This is technically a Fleet Yards episode, but Fleet Yards is presented by the Trekyards channel. Yes, sir. Sean O'Sullivan. That was probably the plan, but Grogu has shipped an awful lot of merch. I don't think that was the plan initially, to get rid of Grogu earlier. And yes, Grogu is a massive merchandising thing. Although they missed the boat with it because Mandalorian came out. They didn't have any Grogu stuff out in the stores really before Christmas. And I think it was a bad idea. Now you see Grogu shit everywhere. You just see lines, rows of Grogu shit. And nobody's interested anymore. Yeah, he's cute. Yeah, I have one. There's one behind the camera there. But honestly, the appeal wears off pretty quick. And yeah, they oversaturated the market and made too many of them. And Pumpkin Spice. Story canon does not apply in woke Hollywood. Dave Thompson, that's why I don't... Oh, I must have skipped something. Sorry, I apologize. Fleetpaw, will Grogu talk like Yoda, or do you think Grogu will speak basic and proper word order like humans in the Star Wars galaxy? I mean, Yaddle did. There were other members of Yoda's species that could, so who knows? I would hope that he would just speak properly. Pumpkin Spice, what were the Terminator droids that killed his family and village? They were way better than the gay Roger droid army from episode 1. Well, they were part of the droid army. Those were the more heavy-duty ones. There was the same army. They were just different models of droids. Sean O'Sullivan, Naboo Starfighter is highly maneuverable. You can try spinning in it. That's a good trick. Yes. His way and cold line doesn't make sense. He froze everyone in carbonite. No, just the ones he captured. Which, they weren't dead after they got frozen in carbonite, my dude. The guy he caught in episode 1 is in season 2 helping Grieve Karga with his taxes and actually helps them infiltrate an Imperial base. That blue guy. So, you can die and have your body dragged in and carbonite frozen so you don't rot and stink up his fucking ship. Or you can go on alive and be carbonite frozen so you don't talk his ear off and annoy the shit out of him when he's transporting you. Either way, you're getting carbonite frozen, so... Eric Martin, I love the mechanic lady on Tatooine, always cracks me up. Yeah, she's pretty hilarious, actually. And I love that in Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian Season 2.5. BD1 is there, the little character from the video game. What the hell? I can't think of the video game name. With Cal. BD1. Jedi Fallen Order. Um, yeah, she's great, and she uses the pit droids, and R5D4 is there as well. Like, she's funny, and she loves Grogu, and yeah, I like her as a character. I think she's a very good character, and I love the fact she dated Jawa for a while. There's so much about this show to love. My God. Anyway, let's see. Pumpkin Spice. Astromech droid on Anakin's Naboo starfighter was an R2D2. Uh, on Anakin's Naboo starfighter, yes, that was, but that's because he was hanging around with. Yes, yes, that was R2D2. You wish it wasn't? I'm confused. Sean, who handled Canon better in subsequent series, Lucas or Roddenberry? I mean, they both did good and they both fucked up at the same time. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Dave Thompson says, I know nothing about Star Wars. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Ozzy says Grogu wants to go fast. Wee. Fleetpaw says, which was better, Grogu or Porgs? Grogu. I mean, Porgs were alright, but they, again, were oversaturated with stupid stuffed plushy Porgs and shit, so. Eric Martin, the button in the Naboo fighter reminds me of Kit and Turbo Boost. Yeah, for sure. Pumpkin Spice, Grogu is the new Gizmo from Gremlins, lol. I mean, yes. But Grogu also shares a lot of things in common with pugs. I mean, I'm looking at Lola's face right now, and right above her is Grogu. It's the little pushed-in nose, the big eyes, funny-looking ears, and the wrinkles. Like, the pug must have been some kind of inspiration for Yoda and or Grogu. But anyway, yeah, definitely very Gizmo-like. Which is cuter? I think Gizmo's probably cuter, honestly. But Fleetpaw says it was R2 and Anakin's fighter. Yes, it was, but it's not like R2 was already in the slot when Anakin got in. Anakin got in, and R2's like, oh shit, I better fucking go with him. Sean says, the R2 units actually didn't fit in the Jedi Starfighter as they forgot to design that feature, so they shot it to hide the legs hanging out awkwardly. Well, if you look at the way it contours, there's no way it could fit in there, obviously, because the legs, the top of, like, the shoulders of the astromech droid. So if you look at the cutaway drawing of the Naboo starfighter, the droid's head actually goes up through the slot and it stays connected to the main body, but the main body lays horizontally, I believe, in the body of the ship. A weird astromech feature, and yeah, I noticed that right away when I watched that movie because, as I said, I love astromech droids, and it's something that kind of stands out when you look at the ship contours. So, again, you're not breathing well there. Here, move a little bit. There you go. So, let's see. So we got him there. We got him. Here's the R2 and 3PO. Yeah. After over 100 years in function, C-3PO has spent the last several decades in faithful service to the Senate. The droids have worked under some of the most influential political figures in the galaxy. So C-3PO is over 100 years old. R2 is over 200 years old. is how it goes. During this time, it became acquainted with the astromech droid R2D2. The two shared base programming stemming from similar cores or code that became close friends. They didn't serve together very often, though they did find themselves assigned to the same ship or station on several occasions. Anyway, it goes through a whole thing talking about R2D2 and 3PO and their actual histories. Fleetbot said, know the story about the Porgs. If I recall, R2 was Amidala's astromech for her trip to Coruscant after Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan rescued her. I could be wrong. No, you were right. She was one. R2 was one of the astromech droids, the repair droids aboard Queen Amidala's starship. Anyway, the story about the Porgs. Yes, there's the birds, the seagulls, or puffins on that island that were flying around, and they couldn't take them out of every shot because it would be too expensive, so they just invented the Porg to explain the birds flying around. Yes, I know the story of the Porgs. Sean O'Sullivan, I hope the new series has plenty of sand. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. All right, let's move on to something else here. And we got Wedge and Darth Vader. Darth Vader has a different history as well. Yeah, that'd be worth reading. Anyway, we're not going to do that. Dark Lord of the Sith approaches. You got a trench run. Dun, 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 dun. It never moved that fast on my old computer. Whoever captured this footage, it looked much better originally. That's way too fast. I'm just going to skip that shit because that's not right. Actually, traveling through hyperspace ain't like Dustin Crops, boy. Yeah, this is just them going to hyperspace and stuff. Again, it's way too fast, the animation, but that's all right. Dave Thompson says, cute pug. I heard I had Pomeranians. Yeah, I've got 2 pugs and a Chihuahua. So, Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther. Throws in a $5 Australian, $5 Australian dollars, and says, I'm ashamed to admit I might be episode 10. Might be episode 10 of all, and I liked it more than Star Trek Discovery, but I do love that cartoon. I admit I might be episode 10 of All the Veal. I have no idea what you mean. Let's go to the next one. Again, this one also goes way too fast. It actually is supposed to travel slower. And it did on the original screensaver, but anyway, that's kind of fun. Okay, seriously, stop. Those are just Jawas doing their thing on a desktop, an old Windows 3.1. Okay, listen. There you go. This is just a lightsaber fight. Australia is not real, just ask a flat earther, says my super chat auto-corrected. Auto-corrected to what, though? I still can't understand what you mean. Eric Martin, have you seen the fan home R2D2? It's motorized and computerized, and it's about 2 to 3rd scale. Very cool. No, I don't think I have seen that. Sean O'Sullivan, there's a new article on Astros about trying to make sense of the Disco Klingons. They really try to make it make sense. So did we. We did a whole live talking about the way they could make it make sense. And if only they would do it. Anyway, these assholes just basically do a lightsaber fight across your screen multiple times. Poster art. All right. Old animations play faster on new PCs. I've had that issue with GIFs from the 90s. Yeah, well, that needs to stop. New machines are smart enough; they should be able to figure it out. I don't understand the problem. It should just fucking work the way it's supposed to work. This is the way. Cap, what's your favorite movie out of all the Star Wars movies? Empire Strikes Back, hands down. Sean O'Sullivan, the inventor of autocorrect, recently died. Restaurants in peace. Yes. Eric Martin, I love the running gag that little Grogu has a bottomless appetite. Yeah, well, that's the thing too. When I was watching it the first time, I'm like, what if I could feed this thing? Like, how do you know that you're not going to kill it by feeding it something wrong, or like it's an alien species, for Christ's sakes? Who knows what it consumes, or how much it needs, or any special dietary requirements? So yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, seriously. I just hate that in The Passenger he ate like a bunch of their eggs, and the mom didn't notice or care, but she would have cared because she needed to get the eggs to where they needed to go to keep her species alive. Um, and then one of them hatches in the next episode, and when the parents are babysitting Grogu, Grogu gets attached to this little tadpole thing, and it's kind of cute when Mandalorian has to like tear him away. So, yeah. Oh, Fleetpaw, Klingon redesign explained. There's our video on it. Yeah, check that out. And guys, I don't know if you're a Trekyards fan, but if you are, hashtag justice for ring ship might mean something to you. Well, that justice was delivered today. The ring ship episode came out today. If you want to see it, go check it out. It's one I'm really proud of, and the animations that Samuel did are fantastic. I'm so happy this episode's finally out. Go make it popular. Go watch it, like it, share it around. It's already doing very good in views. So go check it out, please. Sean O'Sullivan, fun fact, Space Invaders originally had a flaw where it was slow when the screen was full of spaceships, then got faster as it had less units to generate. Then they said it's not a bug, it's a feature. Cool. Australia's not, this says photo just said Orville. Oh, I'm ashamed to admit, but I might be episode 10 of Orville, and I liked it more than Star Trek Discovery. But I do love that cartoon. What? I'm confused. Eric Martin throws in $5. Thank you so much, Eric. Here's some cash. Please don't get so close to the screen. It freaks me out. Well, you got a big TV, my dude. So here, I'll make it easier on you. Now I'm not so hideous when I'm up close. Like, if I come up close, you can't see anything. So, is this better? I don't know. I have got an itch now. What is that? Oh, I know what that switch is for. It's for the flashlight that goes here. Another thing about the Mando helmet, absolutely love it. First of all, the Beskar, the silver, looks fantastic. One thing I didn't like was it didn't have the scope like Boba Fett did. But honestly, now I prefer it not having it. All the other Mandalorians have that thing, and it's kind of irritating. I really kind of prefer the Mandalorian helmet, just being nice and sleek. But, yeah. Anyway, thoughts on that? He does have a flashlight, which goes here, actually, on this side. And I do have the pieces, but it's downstairs. I'm not sure how it activates in his. I don't know if it's supposed to, like, come out and then twist up. But on this one, you have to take this piece off and then attach it separately. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I really love the Mandalorian helmet. I think it's great. I would love to have a full set of his armor, but it's relatively hard to make to get everything looking good and correct. But it would be so worth it. I could wear this helmet like if I had contact lenses in and I could actually see, because I'm blind as a bat, and of course I cannot wear my glasses under here. So if I actually had contact lenses in, I would love to wear this thing. It feels comfortable, you know. And it's great. I love that it's got the lights in there, and this is one of the Black Series ones. But also got the Boba Fett prototype one, the white one. But anyway. All right, moving on. Let's see what we got going on here. What you guys saying? Sean O'Sullivan. Took you ages to get to the ring ship, given it was so early. I guess it was such a long road getting from out here. Yes. By the way, that episode was filmed 3 years ago. So it didn't take us a long time. It just took a long time to get actually edited and put out. Dave Thompson says, do you like I? Do I like 2? Do I like 11? I don't know what you're saying. Fleet Pass says, hashtag justice for the ring ship Enterprise seen here. Thank you. Dave Thompson, do you like the Orville? I love the Orville. The Orville's fantastic. It's another thing I need to go back and rewatch, and I might do that soon, actually. Watch that from the beginning as well. So, Pumpkin Spice, Orville canceled by Hulu. I wonder if Peacock will pick it up with their big Seth MacFarlane deal. I mean, first of all, stupidest decision ever to cancel the Orville. But I mean, same thing happened to Firefly. I cannot for 1 minute believe that Disney's not going to let Orville get us a 4th season. Eric Martin, what's your top 5 list of favorite videos Sam is holding hostage? LOL. Honestly, the next one I want to see out is our interview with Rick Sternbach talking about the spaceflight chronology. Now, if you don't know what the spaceflight chronology is, it's one of the early books that talks about the history of spaceflight from modern times all the way up to the Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise. Some of the information on the ring ship actually came from that book. Now, Rick didn't have much of a technical side aspect of creating that book, but his name is on the cover because he did all of the paintings of the starships in that book. So we talked to him a bit about that, and that's a really great interview. We also have an interview with Andrew Probert talking about the design of the Enterprise D bridge and the thought that was put into that. Another one I really want to see out. We also have another interview with Larry Nemechek talking about TNG. And so that's another one I would love to see out as well. We also filmed one on the holodeck. The holodeck episode I was supposed to edit together, but I don't have any editing skills to save my life. So it never got completed. This just gave me a brilliant idea, if I still have it. Anyway, the holodeck episode. However, the holodeck episode needs to be revisited because that script was written like about 3 years ago, before Lower Decks existed, maybe even longer than that. And since then, some updated information has come out about holodecks. It's been shown in, unfortunately, as a shooting range in Discovery, and a few other things that we need to touch on and address a little bit. So I need to revamp the script for that and refilm it. So that's another one that's in my favorites that needs to be released. There's probably other ones I've forgotten about. Can't remember if we actually did film the Dideridex dilithium. There's a fucking great episode on dilithium. Research to the nines. By the way, dilithium is not a fuel source. But anyway, it is amazing. And then, again, more information came out about dilithium right after we filmed it. So that's another script that needs to go back and revisited and refilmed. So those are kind of my top 5 right there, I guess. So I hope that answered your question. Sean O'Sullivan says, nice helmet. Thank you. The ladies think so too. Fleet Paw, they do, Dave Thompson. They have done lots of content on the Orville. We have. The Orville, our first reaction to the ship, is our most viewed episode on the channel. Most viewed video on this channel is an Orville episode. Go figure. So, I don't know. By the way, my battery's dying, so I gotta wrap this up soon. Because that was the battery alert that just showed up. Sean O'Sullivan, I don't like rangefinders. They're coarse and rough and irritating, and they get everywhere. Thirst Contact says, is it just me, or does Pedro Pascal sound a lot like Nathan Fillion when he talks? I think that might just be you. I don't really hear that. Sean says, with the world between worlds being a thing, time travel is technically a thing in Star Wars now. So it's possible the original classic Star Wars canon could return to the big screen. I'd be down with that. Eric Martin, so does the Admiral polish your helmet for you? Oh, yes, she does, indeed, many times. Sometimes with her hands, sometimes with her mouth, sometimes with her foot, other body parts, perhaps. I don't know. My helmet's always very shiny. Donnie Pearson says, I love the Orville. I honestly doubt that Hulu would cancel that show. That final week, what's your excitement level for Picard season premiere? For season 3, very high. I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow, they're going to be releasing the final trailer for it during some kind of sports ball game or something. Anyway, after the trailer is available, we're going to be going live tomorrow to talk about it and break down the trailer. So join us for that if you're interested in Picard season 3 trailer talk. Fleet Paw, hashtag justice for the Sternbach interview, hashtag release the episodes from the Trekyards vault. Broken Speaker, looking forward to Mando. Boba Fett was weak and Ahsoka is still a ways away. Boba Fett was weak, but it wasn't all bad. So, Sean O'Sullivan, are you watching The Last of Us or Night Court? I'm watching The Last of Us. I haven't checked out episode 2 yet, though. I need to do that. As for Night Court, it's on the list of things we need to watch, but we haven't watched that yet, so no. But yeah, I will be watching it for sure. Fleet Paw says the Orville mission briefing part 1 and part 2. Sean O'Sullivan, Trek fans to disco producers, those are Klingons. You see Sean Ferrick invited to premiere? He wasn't invited to the premiere. First of all, Jesse Gender, Starfleet Boy, and Sean Ferrick were not invited to the premiere. They got access to the public. It's an open public thing. You can request to get a ticket to the thing. And so, yes, they basically won a lottery ticket to get in because they applied for it. We didn't apply for it, and they weren't invited. They're not going to get like special red carpet treatment or like special seats or anything. So that's all kind of the way it's presented. Like, oh, I was so honored to be asked. I don't think you were asked, first of all. It's not quite how that works. But yes, I did see that. So, yes. Paul N. Meh, Star Wars would do better if they focused on the Jedi that survived Order 66. I mean, there's not supposed to be many of them, and a lot of the games and stuff, like The Force Unleashed mentions one or two and actually has one in it. Like, the amount of them that it survived is ridiculous, but also not, because they're highly trained and skilled, so I see what you mean, though. Thirst Contact, what about Bad Batch? I haven't finished watching season 1 yet. So, yeah, haven't finished watching it. Paul N., what is the best ship in Star Trek and why is it the USS Saladin? The best ship in Star Trek. going to go with the Federation class. And why is it the Saladin? Because it's not. Dave Thompson, I may have said this before, but did you know that the U.S. Navy actually has an Admiral James Kirk? Yes, I do know that. Yeah, I do. Eric Martin, so did we find out how Grogu survived Order 66? Did I miss it? No, you did not miss it. We found out he survived. He was there. He saw the clone troopers shooting down Jedi Knights. But we don't know how he survived, who rescued him, who saved him, anything like that. A lot of speculation online about it, though, who it could be and who it might be and whatever. So, yeah, you haven't missed it. Don't you worry. Hold on. Let me. What I should do is go back. There we go. Close out with Coruscant Skyline. Because why not? Could turn sound effects on at this point too, but whose Order 66 death affected you most? Anakin's murder if the younglings doesn't count. Whose Order 66 death affected you most? The green dude with the dreadlocks that smiles all the time. What the hell is his name? Not Plo Koon. Plo Koon was pretty cool, but Jeff? I don't know. My name is Jeff. I don't know. The green guy one. I don't know. It's a shame to... And the lady that got shot in the back. She was kind of hot, so it's always sad. Kit Fisto. Yes, thank you. That's his name. Hello, Chuck. How's it going? Sean O'Sullivan says those TK troopers have terrible aim, but like a bad marksman, they keep missing the target. Paul N., how many Jedi were there? 10,000 Jedi before Order 66? Why is it unlikely that so many were out of the Outer Rim or on missions without clones? Not everyone is a Jedi Master. It's very true. Very true. So, Sean O'Sullivan, Paul, the Inquisitor hunted down the Order 66 ones missed. Yes, that's true. Fleet Swiftback, I would have to say that Plo Koon's death was the worst to me. Paul N., has anyone done the non-warships of the Klingons or Romulans? I'm curious what the support ships of these powers are like. We might have touched on one or two, but they really haven't seen any on screen, really. So, I don't know what we have in regards to that as far as mission briefings go, but Kit Fisto was killed by Palpatine, though. What? Was he? Anyway, shut up, Fleepa. Paul N., the Inquisitors just don't seem that competent. The ISB is terrifying, but the Inquisitors just need to put on the red noses and floppy shoes. Wow. Eric Martin says, I always thought Han let the Falcon look like a piece of junk to keep it low profile while smuggling, but made sure it was fast. I'd buy that. I absolutely would buy that, yes. Sean O'Sullivan said, Yoda said when he died, Luke was the last one left. Yeah, as far as he knew. Eric Martin says the Millennium Falcon looks like garbage, laddie. You care to rephrase that? Armando Rodriguez. Hi, Cap. What are your favorite ships or fighters in Star Wars? Well, the Falcon's definitely up there. Another one of my favorite vehicles is this bad boy, the AT-ST. I love the design of those. Other than that, big fan of the X-Wing. Um, there's an Imperial ship in Mandalorian Season 2, the one that introduces Bo-Katan. Um, I can't think of the name of the ship. It's the one that they end up hijacking and almost crashes into the ocean. Um, I really like the design of that transport. I think that's very cool. Um, Not a fan of the B wing. Not a fan of the A wing really. Y wings, all right. TIE interceptors are one of the coolest TIE fighters in my opinion. I don't know. Again, I'm gonna miss some. It's one of those. What's your favorite thing? I'm gonna ultimately just miss one or two. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He does. He doesn't like the Naboo Starfighter, even though it's good at spinning in zoomies. I don't like the Naboo Starfighter. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. So, yeah. 28 likes. Can I get 2 more likes to get to 30, guys? I think I'm going to wrap this up. It was a shorter one, and I apologize for that. However, I got really bad battery life on this thing. It's actually down to like under 10% right now. That's my fault. I didn't charge it earlier. And also the iPad is down to 12% as well. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to call this one done soon. But I just wanted to show my love for The Mandalorian. It is fantastic. I'm so looking forward to season 3 coming out in March, and hopefully you guys are as well. I will be doing late night reviews, first reaction reviews to all those episodes the night they come out. So generally that's Wednesdays for Disney. So we'll have new Star Trek with Picard, and we'll have new Mandalorian. So Wednesdays will be Mandalorian night. Thursdays will be um, or Star Trek Picard night. So hopefully you'll join me for those. But anyway, yeah, I think I covered pretty much everything that I love about the Mandalorian. I'm sure I forgot a few things here and there, but honestly, I think I got out my love for it enough that you guys can comment down below. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like, what you would change. I want to hear that stuff. Consider giving a super thanks as well. Thank you to everybody that super chatted during this one. There weren't that many, but I really appreciate all of them regardless. So thank you so much. If you want to super chat now, before I end out, please feel free. I will read those on the air. But we did hit our 30 likes. So anyone watching after the fact, just hit that like button. Share this around to anybody that you think will enjoy it. And as I said at the beginning, check out the Captain Foley personal channel for more stuff like this, as well as unboxings and reviews of different products and things like that. So lots and lots to check out on the Captain Foley personal channel. So please give it a look if you're able to, and if you're not subscribed already. So, and anyway, on that note, I think I will call it quits here. Let's see. I even looked this. Yeah, I can. Just gonna loop this son of a bitch. There we go. So yeah. Eric Martin throws in $5 as a closing out. Keep all your toys charged. LOL. Usually I do, 95% of the time. And I know what you mean by toys. I mean, got a lot of things that need to be charged or have batteries in this house. So with various levels of importance. But anyway, yeah, I will be plugging these back in. And, I didn't even end out by, I should have started like with this, my Razor Crest. This is just the hallmark ornament, but... And that'll probably be enough to get me copyright flag. Not striked, just claimed, but that's all right. I really don't care. Anyway. Thank you for watching, guys. It has been a pleasure, as always. You guys are awesome. And, yeah. So anyway, those are my thoughts on The Mandalorian. I have spoken. Please speak below in the comments section. Do your thing. And I'll see you guys next time for another late night live with the Captain. So until then, I'm Captain Foley. See you guys later. This is the way.